Everything you think you know about balancing work, family, fitness, training, health is wrong. Your lack of time is not the problem, even though it absolutely feels like it is. It's actually your biggest advantage. Most blokes don't realize this. They think they need to do more to get results. More workouts, more meal prep, more sacrifice, more reading, more knowledge, more information. But that's exactly why they fail. In this video, I'm going to show you why constraints force strategic thinking and how doing less more strategically actually yields much better results than doing more. Now, let me paint a picture. You're high achieving in certain areas of your life, particularly work. You've built a successful career or business. You're respected, but your health, your presence at home, your energy, your enthusiasm, that's slipping and you know it. You remember the version of you from, say, 10, maybe 15 years ago, the guy who had time to train, eat well, stay lean, you had a routine, it worked. So you think, I'll just go back to that. You plan it out meticulously, you're waking up earlier in the morning, you hit the gym for a period of time, meal prep, track your macros, you're all in, full send, you're giving it absolutely everything you've got. And maybe for 2 weeks it works. You feel good, you're back, and this is it. Then work gets busy, or something to do with a customer hits a crisis, or your kids get sick, life happens, suddenly that rigid routine collapses. You miss another session, then another, and then you slip on your diet, and here's where it all gets dangerous. You tell yourself, well, I've already broken the streak, my consistency, I might as well start afresh on Monday. Monday comes, you're back on it, full send again, and the cycle repeats. Start, crash, regret, repeat. Never-ending story. Now, this isn't a willpower problem. This isn't because you're lazy or undisciplined. It's a strategy problem, an implementation problem. And the strategy you're using is fundamentally broken for the life that you're actually living now in the present, which is very different to the time you're comparing it to all those years ago. Here's what's probably happening inside your head. Think of your brain as 3 parts working together, or sometimes working against each other for that matter. You've got the chimp, your primitive, your emotional brain. It's primal, it wants comfort, it wants energy conservation. When you're stressed, tired, or under pressure, the chimp takes over, always. It's looking for the easiest path. Sugar, cravings, scrolling, desires, sitting on the couch. Now, it's not bad, it's not evil, it's just trying to protect you, it's trying to make you more efficient. And then you've got the human, and that's you, the logical, rational part, the part that plans, that understands long-term consequences. The human knows that training and eating well make you feel better, look better, perform better, ultimately be the person that you want to be. And the human has that vision. You have that vision. And then finally, there's the computer, and that's your habits, your beliefs, your automatic responses, the things that you've conditioned yourself to think and do. The computer is programmed by both the chimp and the human. And here's the key, the computer runs most of your life on autopilot without even thinking. When you try and force a rigid, perfect routine, you're relying entirely on willpower. You're asking the human to override the chimp every single day. You're under stress, and when you're tired, when life gets chaotic, the chimp wins. The human gets exhausted, the computer never gets reprogrammed. The solution is not more willpower, it's not more discipline. It's training the computer, your conditioning, and empowering the human to manage the chimp effectively, especially when things get hard, especially when your plan doesn't go the way you expect it to. So how do you do that? You stop trying to do everything perfectly. Instead, you do less, more strategically. We could call this the minimal effective dose. And it's not a compromise, it's actually a superior approach. This is the factor of implementation I mentioned before. Think about it like this. In physics, there's a concept called the law of diminishing returns. The first 20% of effort yields 80% of the results. The next 80% of effort yields only 20% of the results. Most blokes are grinding away in that second zone, exhausting themselves for marginal improvements. But you, particularly after this video, you're going to find your one screw, your high leverage activities, the minimal investments that yield disproportionate returns, high ROI. For a busy bloke with a demanding job and a family, that's not a 2-hour gym session. That's not meal prepping every meal for the week. That's not tracking every calorie obsessively on MyFitnessPal. It's doing things a lot smarter. something that fits into your actual life now with the demands that you currently have, something that when you do it consistently compounds into real results. The best strategy isn't more, it's smarter. You've probably heard it a number of times before. Work smarter, not harder. So let's start with the first strategy. We could call this the neuro reset, the neurological reset. Here's the problem. You finish work, you've been switched on for 8, 10, 12 hours, maybe even more. Your nervous system is fried. Your mental load is maxed out. You walk through the door, your chimp is screaming for relief. Sugar, maybe it's alcohol, junk food, mindless scrolling, anything to decompress, anything to distract yourself from the day and your thoughts. And because your nervous system is still in work mode, you're not present with your family. You're irritable, you're checked out, kids want your attention, and you've got nothing left to give. Frighteningly, your colleagues, your employees, your staff, your customers, your clients, they're getting the best version of you, but those that matter most see the worst. The neuro reset fixes this. It's a 2-minute transition ritual from your work self to your dad self, taking your work hat off and putting your home hat on. Here's what you do. When you finish work, whether that's leaving the office or simply closing your laptop down, you do the physiological sigh or the cyclic sigh, which is 2 inhales through your nose and then 1 exhale through your mouth. You do that 3 times. It literally resets your nervous system. So 1 inhale through the nose. When you can't inhale anymore, inhale again a second time through the nose, and then you exhale like a deflating balloon. Something like this. Now, on top of this physiological sigh, add a physical anchor. Change your clothes, splash cold water on your face, go for a 2-minute walk, grab a shower, something that signals to your brain that we're transitioning. And that's it for this strategy. Just 2 minutes. Doing this allows your nervous system to calm down. Your chimp settles, your cravings drop, you become present with your family, and you've just built new evidence that you can manage your emotional state. The human is now in control, and the computer learns this pattern over time, and it eventually becomes autonomous. You find it easier to switch one hat to the other with less effort. The second strategy is called the early advantage, and it might be the most powerful fat loss and time management hack that you have never considered. Here's the typical problem. You finish dinner, the kids are in bed, you've got a few hours of free time, but you're not really free. You're tired, your willpower is depleted, so you end up snacking, mindlessly eating, scrolling, rooting around the cupboards for some form of entertainment in the form of food, wasting time that could be yours. And because you're up late, you're tired the next morning. So you skip your workout, you grab a coffee instead of drink water, you rely on caffeine too much, you're already behind before the day starts. You don't have the energy and enthusiasm to do what you said you were going to do and fulfill those promises you made to yourself. The early advantage is pretty simple. Go to bed earlier. And this is one really worked for me. Just go to bed initially 15 to 30 minutes earlier than what you're previously used to. First, you remove the snacking window entirely because you're not there to eat in the first place. Second, you start to optimize your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, which are hormones that ultimately control hunger. They regulate better with consistent sleep. You're naturally less hungry the next day in particular, and you free up some morning time because you wake up earlier. You've got maybe 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes for yourself, which you didn't originally have. So you could do a walk, reading, planning your day, movement, stretching, just sitting there with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea to enjoy the start of your day. Doing this alone, you've just solved 3 problems with one simple change. You didn't have to try harder. You just changed your environment. The third strategy is conditioning, but covertly. And this is one that destroys the myth that you need an hour at the gym to get fit. Here's the typical problem. You believe that exercise requires a dedicated block of time in order for it to be effective. An hour at the gym, a structured workout that perhaps you relied on 10 years ago. Because you don't have that time, you do nothing instead. You tell yourself, I'll start when things calm down. I'll start when I have more time. I'll start when I can do the thing which I perceive as what I need to do. But ultimately, things never calm down, and you never have more time. Covert conditioning is different. It's integrating movement into your existing routines. Your environment becomes your gym. Your day becomes your training session, your training ground. What could this look like? Well, it could be something as simple as doing some press-ups while you're waiting for the bath to fill up while bathing the kids. It could be that you're doing squats while you're waiting for dinner to cook. It could be having active play with your kids, going for a walk, playing football with them, walking meetings instead of sitting meetings, taking the stairs, parking further away. Now, obviously they're not workouts, they're just movement, but it's integrated into your life and it increases your overall energy expenditure. Now, 3 sets of 10 press-ups doesn't sound like much, and a few bodyweight squats, it's not a lot, but when you do it consistently and when you do it every single day, it builds a significant mindset shift. It changes your identity because you're gathering new evidence that you are now active. You're building momentum. Momentum compounds. A big one for me was taking Zoom calls whilst walking. And with this, the computer learns that we move, we're active, it is who we are now. It's a massive identity shift, and it starts to have a compounding effect on other aspects of our life and the decisions that we make. The fourth strategy is one about mastering your meals, and it's about simplifying your fuel intake so you can control calories without obsessing over them. The typical problem is that you're making food decisions all day long. Breakfast, snacks, lunch, another snack, dinner. Every single decision that you make depletes your energy, enthusiasm, willpower, and sustainability. And by the evening, you're knackered. Your chimp takes over, you eat whatever's easiest, whatever's easy to grab, whatever's convenient. The idea of the one meal mastery is pretty simple. You master just one's principle. Keep your daytime meals, breakfast and lunch perhaps, simple, mega easy to track, and preferably around 12 to 1500 calories. Ideally just in those 2 or daytime meals. That's it. That's ultimately the principle. Ensuring that you do not eat any more than 12 to 1500 calories during the daytime. So what could this look like? Ultimately, protein, vegetables, things like steak, eggs, vegetables, salmon, sweet potato, nothing fancy, nothing complicated. You're not tracking your macronutrients obsessively. You're just keeping it simple and keeping it controlled during this window of time during the day. Of course, you need to watch out for hidden calories, liquid calories, things like a morning latte could be 300 calories you're not taking into account, or sauces, dressings, your kids' leftovers. These all add up really, really quickly. When you simplify your daytime meals, you reduce your decision fatigue, you control your calories effortlessly, and you improve your satiety. By the time dinner comes, you're not ravenous, you're not desperate, you can make an informed decision instead of reacting. And this is a massive one, it's huge. During the day, most people are so busy working away that they're not necessarily thinking about food. The problem for most blokes when it comes to overeating is during the evening. So by mitigating the risk of you overeating by controlling what you eat during the day while still at least eating something nutritionally beneficial, you can keep your overall total daily calories somewhat in check, controlled, consistent, whilst avoiding those hunger pangs that occur at 8, 9, 10 p.m. The fifth strategy is structured recovery. It's really overlooked, and it's where most blokes get it wrong. Most blokes, particularly those who are trying to change their life, think that recovery is lazy. They think that recovery is unproductive. They think the best way to get results is to push harder, sleep less, optimize every minute, be productive. And unfortunately, that's backwards. The truth is, productivity comes from maximizing your effectiveness within your working hours, not from working more. It's about getting more done in the same amount of time or the same amount done in less time. It's not from sleeping less, it's not from working more hours. Productivity comes from being smarter about how you recover. So we're looking to try and buy you time by being more efficient with your time. We could view structured recovery as having 5 components. First, we need to prioritize 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Not just that time in bed, but quality sleep. Dark room, cool temperature, no screens before bed. No bright lights before bed. Second, get morning sunlight, 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, preferably. It regulates your circadian rhythm, tells your body that it's time to be awake, improves your mood, improves your energy, and it helps you sleep better the following night. Third, take short, regular walks. Just a walk, not a workout, just 10 minutes, 3 times a day if you can. It combats sitting, of course, it improves digestion, clears your head. It's 3 times more effective than diabetic medication for regulating your blood glucose levels. And it also coincides with what we were talking about before in terms of trying to factor in movement into your day rather than doing long, unrealistic workouts. Fourth is all about hydration consistently, all day long. Most blokes are chronically dehydrated and they don't know about it. When I talk about hydration, I'm not just talking about water intake, but also making sure that your salt, sodium, potassium intake is also pretty consistent throughout the day. Even if that means that you're having to supplement with it with some form of electrolyte powder, not just in the mornings when you wake up, but throughout the day. The fifth strategy is all about leveraging your peak energy times. Now, for pretty much everybody, you have maybe 3 to 4 hours, if you're lucky, of peak cognitive performance per day. Use those hours for your most important work. Don't waste them on emails or meetings or doing pointless things like scrolling social media. And when you do all of these things, you're not just recovering, you're not just optimizing, you're buying yourself time back through efficiency. It has a compounding effect in every aspect of your life. You're improving your mood, your cognition, your resilience, your emotional regulation. You're building new evidence that you can invest in yourself, the things that you know you need to do, the promises that you're making to yourself. Here's what I want you to understand. Now, we're not trying to build a perfect routine. We're not trying to become the version of you from 10, maybe 15 years ago. You're building new evidence that you can be healthy now in your current life, with your current constraints, with your current demands, current responsibilities, your current schedule. Each time you do this neurological reset, you're proving to yourself that you can manage your emotional state. Each time you go to bed early, you're proving that you can prioritize yourself. Each time you do a set of push-ups while dinner cooks, you're proving that you can be active. Each time you keep your meal simple, you're proving that you can make better choices. Now, these might all be small wins, but small wins compound. They reprogram the computer that I mentioned earlier, and they shift your identity. Your whole conditioning and perception of who you are changes. And this is the identity shift I want you to make. Stop calling yourself busy. Busy is a limiting belief. Busy is a badge of honor that sabotages your goals. It's a narrative that we like to use to justify why we aren't where we want to be yet. Instead, start defining yourself by the attributes of the man that you want to be. Disciplined, mentally strong, efficient, has his shit together, good at prioritizing, a role model, a leader, someone who manages his energy, not just his time. Someone that's good at prioritizing and comfortable saying no when it matters. Now, if you're really serious about this, about making improvements to your life, if you're ready to actually shift your identity and build new evidence, I've created something that goes so much deeper than this video. It's called the Recalibration. It's a 5-day immersive program designed to help you reset, build momentum, and get crystal clear clarity on your strategy, implementation for becoming the man you want to be. You'll work through your limiting beliefs, upgrade your relationships with health, finances, family, relationships, rest, personal development, work, business, and you'll also get a personalized one-to-one strategy call with me to help cement it all together. Right now, it's completely free. There's no catch, no upsell. Ultimately, I'm trying to create trust and relationship with followers and people in the community. And rather than me talk about this for 10 minutes, there's a link in the description below with more information. So check it out and click the button to claim your free spot if you're interested. But before we finish, here's what I want you to do right now, today. Don't wait for the course that I've just mentioned. Don't wait for Monday. Pick one of these 5 strategies, just one for now, even though I want you to do all 5 eventually. The one that resonates with you the most, the one that addresses your biggest pain point right now, your biggest struggles and challenges. Perhaps it's the neurological reset. If you're exhausted and checked out when you get home, then start there. For me, personally, it was the early advantage. I was snacking too much in the evenings, kind of distracting myself from a long, stressful day, so going to bed early was the one that helped me the most. Maybe for you, it's the covert conditioning. If your main struggle is that you believe you don't have time to exercise and be active, then perhaps you should probably start by incorporating those sort of exercise snacks into your day. Maybe the best strategy for you to start is the one meal mastery. If you're making too many food decisions and nutrition is your hardest point, then start with that one. Or maybe it's structured recovery. If you're running on fumes, tired, you can't be arsed doing the things that you know you need to do, then start with that one. Just pick one, implement it this week, build new evidence that you can do this, that it's about who you are. And I want you to comment below, tell me which strategy that you are going to start with and why, because that's how you commit. By holding yourself accountable, by sharing it with others, that helps you commit to it in your own head. But if you want to go deeper, if you want the full system, albeit the fast track system, the training and nutrition app, the 5-day immersive course with the DIY tasks and the community and the response from me, the rebuild operating system, the training program that ties all of this together, everything is in this description below. When you click that link, you'll get immediate access to the page, which gives you all the information about that course. And when you claim your free spot, you'll get the app, you'll get the operating system for free, everything you need to implement this at scale. This is a complete system built for busy blokes who are tired of the all or nothing mentality, tired of calling themselves perfectionists or busy, blokes who are ready to do less but more strategically. The link is in the description. Click it, claim your free spot today, and understand this. The best strategy isn't more, it's smarter. It's doing less more strategically. It's leveraging your constraints instead of fighting against them. It's building new evidence that you can be healthy, strong, and present in your current life with your current responsibilities, your current circumstances, not the ones from 10 years ago. It's about living a life that's aligned with the identity that you want for yourself and one that fulfills the promises that you make to yourself. Now, if this resonated with you, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm releasing more strategies on working smarter, not harder, help on reclaiming your time, getting rid of the busy narrative, training, nutrition, health, performance, relationships, business, work, fun, rest, decompression, everything of that nature. Check the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.